So has anyone come up with a name yet?
Magnificent.
Well, I'm thinking like, something like Phil. My name is Dr. Mike Lang. As both a health researcher and adventure guide, I've seen how being outdoors enhances the well-being of family caregivers. Lynn is caring for her husband Dan, who has dementia. And together with psychologist and mindfulness teacher Dr. Linda Carlson, we are hiking a remote corner of the Yukon and talking about what it means to have hope in the midst of a very difficult caregiving situation. This is Caregivers in the Wild.
We're getting in this one?
Yeah, I think that's the one we're going in.
You can watch your head on this there, and you can just crawl on that one.
Lynn, is this the smallest plane you've ever been in?
Yeah. Like a Volkswagen with wings.
We're already above the tree line,
Well,
just
look
right
how
here.
close we are to this mountain. We're like practically touch it.
Yeah, I know it.
I know.
You don't have to go very far to feel like you're in the wilderness up here.
My husband's 73, and he had a stroke in 2021. He had huge changes in his personality, and he was diagnosed with dementia. Just been changing pretty rapidly from then on. He's just very confused and doesn't understand the situation, and very unlike his old self. So it's nice when he's lucid, but on the other days you just kind of have to cope and go with the flow and try and keep him on an even keel.
As a first day, it's kind of cruisy, and then as we get to the back, there's actually a sneaky little waterfall back there if we
Oh, a
make it
waterfall.
far enough. So
Really? It doesn't matter where we end up today? Actually, on any of these hikes?
no,
It's about the journey, not the destination.
yeah.
I hope we make it to the waterfall, but
We'll see.
we're going to enjoy it either way, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, well, hey, let's do it.
Okay. It's a different challenge every day because you're not sure what you're going to have to face when you get up in the morning. Like, you'll think he can run the lawnmower, and he pushes it out of the shop and tries to start it and ends up pouring gas all over everywhere. And you just have to be there to help him. My goal is to be happy, so if I'm happy, then my husband's happy, and we can get through the day.
And I notice that with people with dementia, they feel you.
Oh, definitely.
It's important that we always have something to hope for.
Yeah, because they can feel your sadness, or hopelessness, even if they don't understand it. Linda, we're here.
Come on in.
Can we come and say hi?
Yeah, enter our abode.
The abode? There we go. So cozy.
Oh, yeah.
So cozy in here. Lynn and I had we just had a really interesting conversation about this idea of hope. So Lynn, I was wondering maybe if you could just share a little bit about why that talking about hope makes you a little uncomfortable.
Well, you can hope for short-term things like a happy day or whatever, but for long-term plans and stuff, it's kind of hard to hope when in the ultimate end of things, it's going to be really, really sad.
So that's a tough one because we have to marry acceptance and hope. But how do you find hope when you know the ultimate end is losing your husband? And that's something that there's no quick answer for.
Look at that. That is incredible.
Holy man, look at the size of that rack. Unbelievable.
I'd love to do a sky-like mind meditation.
All right, let's go find a nice spot out here.
So we're just going to take a moment to settle into our bodies. You're gazing at the sky, just imagining the blue sky beyond the clouds. And that sky also represents our own mind. And sometimes our minds feel cluttered and busy and like sky that's been obscured by dark clouds. And we forget what's beyond them. Just breathing and taking a moment to connect with that true nature of mind, which is the blue sky.
You see how nature struggles in this wilderness, and yet the smallest things seem to survive, from the little bees to the big caribou.
Yeah, to me, that feels very hopeful.
All the practices I do as a psychologist and teaching mindfulness meditation, it's all about how to be more like nature, or our sky-like mind, how to sit like a mountain, how to let things flow like a stream. You know, so it's all so much about coming back to who we are and what we are as human beings, which is part of nature.
Stormy days, you can just hunker down and do your best, because the sun is going to eventually shine and I'm going to be a survivor.
I think we all have big hopes for our lives and how it will turn out. And sometimes caregiving doesn't fit into that, but that doesn't mean we can't have little hopes for a good afternoon, for a good conversation, for a meaningful moment in the midst of a difficult caregiving situation.